Hey.
Welcome to Broad Ideas.
Rachel and I are very excited for today's guest.
We're so excited.
And Olivia, we get introduced to someone near and dear to both of us.
Near and dear to our hearts and our mouths.
And our stomachs.
Yeah, stomachs. That's the saying. Mouth, whatever. Prue from the Great British Bake Off, the Great American Baking Show. I didn't want to get it wrong, guys, because, similar but different.
Wrong. Yeah.
The Great British Menu. She is a legend, honestly. I love watching this show. It is like my comfort show.
Mine too.
It's so
COVID.
cozy.
It was my COVID show.
It was your COVID
show?
It
was?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's so cozy.
Oh, yeah.
I have it
so
on
nice
in the kitchen when I'm cooking, just even if it's in the background. It's soothing.
I go to sleep every night with that show on.
Do you?
Are you
I do.
serious?
Yeah.
That is so tender, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
That is tender.
It's tender.
That's so tender.
It's so tender.
Like her cakes.
Okay, anyway, the Great American Baking Show has their Celebrity Holiday episode.
True
Very
story.
exciting. We got to see it a little early. I was like very, very geeked out about that. I was like, I know who wins.
Yeah, I want a biscuit.
I want a biscuit. That's right.
Do you want a biscuit?
Well, let's find out what a biscuit is. And
Everyone watch
Okay.
when you can. Let's talk to Prue. I'm a huge fan of the show and you. So this was very, very exciting. But we can't wait to talk to you about all of it today. And
yeah, sure. Go ahead.
And you met Casper, right? Casper set you up for this? Okay. So Casper is so starstruck. He didn't want to say anything, but he's been geeking out over having you all week. He'll just randomly text us like, yay, Prue. And he meets a lot of people.
You know what? I mean, I absolutely, it's not some sort of false modesty. It's just that I simply cannot understand why everybody is so lovely to me, because I mean, all I do is eat cake. I mean, that's hardly a claim for fame. However, I'm not complaining.
No. Well, I think that's
that's goals, right? It's most people's goals is how do you turn eating cake into such a big deal?
Into a career.
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah, so my main question, I think, when I watch the show, you have to taste so many things. And I wonder, how do you do it without getting sick?
Well, if you think about it, I actually lose weight generally when I'm on either the Great American Baking Show or the Great British Bake Off, because if you think about it, you have half a dozen, maybe 10 people at the beginning of a competition, and they're all making the same thing. But all I have to do is eat a teaspoon of it. And it's true. And if you're judging the Great British Menu, and it was top chefs, and they each cooked 5 courses, and each plate, I tell you what, had a meal on it. So it had, they're showing off these chefs. So there's drizzles and foams and little crisps and jelly bits and powdered this, and I mean, so much stuff on the plate for every course. And so I really felt ill by the end of the day, and I didn't eat any breakfast, and I didn't eat any lunch, and it was hard work, and I had to eat it all or taste it all because they're in a very important competition and they want to win, and you can't chicken out and say, well, I'm sorry, I don't feel up to eating the potatoes as well. But in a cake, you can get the filling, the icing, and the sponge in 1 teaspoon. The difficulty is at the beginning of the day, because you've had no breakfast, you're quite hungry. About the first time you start tasting at about 11 o'clock or 11:30. And then at the beginning, it's really difficult to have just 1 spoon. I mean, Paul is brilliant at it. If you watch Paul, he never has more than 1 mouthful. I sometimes force him to have another mouthful because I don't agree with him or something. But I normally end up with 2, but even 2 teaspoons 6 times, if you add up all that, it doesn't amount to more calories. As long as you don't eat any other meals that day, you're fine.
Right.
And I don't eat anything else. I don't eat lunch and I don't eat breakfast. But when it comes to the evening, what I can't forego is a couple of glasses of wine. So my diet for several weeks is basically cake and alcohol.
So lots of sugar.
Probably not ideal.
I don't know. You seem to be doing great.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
You're thriving.
You know, there's one trick I learned a long time ago. I had to do a commercial for ice cream, and the amount of ice cream I had to eat was a lot. And someone told me that if you have unsweetened iced tea, it cuts the sugar and it's more palatable. Have you ever heard that trick?
No, but I'm not surprised because you do. If you have a lot of sugar in anything, you do need something that will
cut it.
Just sort of contradict it, even if it's
right.
Lemon juice or vinegar and water would do it too.
Right.
Do you find that your body gets addicted to the sugar then? Because I have a sugar addiction. It's real. I crave it all throughout the day. Do you find that you crave more sugar when you eat more sugar?
No, I don't tend to like sugar much.
What? You're like, I don't like this job.
No, I do like this job. But I like, obviously I like a bit of, I love ice cream. I like cake. But I don't, if somebody makes a cupcake, and the thing about cupcakes these days, the great fashionable thing about cupcakes is to absolutely pile the butter icing on it in a great big swirl. And then there are lots, it's ridiculous because there's more icing than there is cake.
Mm-hmm.
And that's quite the wrong balance for me. I just have to take the whole lot off the top and just eat the bottom with a little smear of icing on it.
Yeah.
Same.
But I love marzipan, for example. Lots of people who don't like fruitcake, what they don't like about it is the marzipan. But I love marzipan, and that's very sweet.
Yeah. I didn't know there's marzipan in fruitcake. I didn't realize. Marzipan's like...
Yeah, you normally get between... you get cake, and then you get a layer of marzipan, and then you get a layer of white icing. So it's quite usual. Or quite a lot of cakes have it's not called a marzipan filling, but it's very similar to a marzipan, which is frangipani. We do them in Bakewell tarts. You probably wouldn't know a Bakewell tart, but in what is that lovely American thing that bakers do with brioche, where they put ground almonds and sugar and
brioche
on top of brioche and almonds all over it and bake it. Is it called
a bear claw?
Boskop or something?
I don't know. Some of the words,
New York thing.
Oh gosh!
When you guys get into technicals and some of the words come out, I'm just like, I couldn't say it, and I don't know what it is.
Well, I tell you what I found really difficult because I hadn't done the American baking show before. I've only done one series of it, and there's a cake, and if they've got it on this bit of paper here. Do you know what a soufganiot is?
I do now.
Yeah. I didn't know what that was.
What?
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
That makes me feel better.
A pillowy donut filled with raspberry jelly and dusted. Sort of basically, we'd call it a donut.
Right.
Yeah.
But
so do we.
Or beignet.
Or a beignet.
Oh, soufganiot. That's how you say it. Soufganiot.
Yeah. I had no idea when it was said.
But they looked really good.
Were they good?
Yeah.
Were they good?
Honestly, what was so delightful for me, I suppose, I'm going to get myself into trouble here.
Do it. That's what you're here for.
I was quite nervous about American baking show because the few competitions that I'd watched on American television are really quite aggressive. The contestants want to kill each other, basically, and they're certainly quite prepared to trip each other up or try to, sabotage them, really.
Right.
And they're quite sort of, I'd watched a couple where the competitors, I suppose it's because they have these huge money prizes, so it begins to matter enormously. Well, here you're putting this months of effort into winning a cake plate. It's not a big deal, is it? But because of that, the people who are in there really are bakers. They want to bake. They absolutely love it. And so they are prepared to give up, months of their life to, first of all, just to apply is a huge, enormous process because, the sort of love productions have to weed out all the people who just want to be famous or just think, their granny said, look, you're great, you should go into this. And just because she makes one thing beautifully. Mm-hmm. And so they have to fill in this enormous form. And it really tests what you know about Bake Off. And of course, theoretically, they could go on the internet and get all the answers, but it would still take hours and hours and hours. So that gets rid of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's thousands of people, and then they get them down to hundreds and finally down to so when we finally end up with 10 American amateur bakers, they are really, really good bakers because they've sent thousands of people off.
Right. Weeded them out.
Beaten them to it. So they are prepared to practice all the time. They get given in advance what the first few signatures are and showstoppers so that they can think about what they'd like to do and so that they can practice. And so they spend all their time when they're not working. And a lot of them are work or are working mums or very busy. And they work away and then they come home and put the kids to bed or make dinner. And then they start practicing, go to bed at 2 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
It requires real dedication.
Yeah.
So I'm full of admiration for them. And I loved your bakers, and they weren't at all like I feared. They were not pushy. They immediately sort of bonded with each other and they'd start helping each other. And I mean, what I love about the baking show is that it's so friendly. Mm-hmm. And they got that immediately. They didn't come in at all aggressive or
that's my favorite part of the show is just how wholesome, and it's not like a real cooking competition show where everyone's trying to cut each other's throat. Everyone's so nice. Everyone's crying when they get eliminated. They're so happy when someone wins.
I know, and it's extraordinary how when we announce the star baker for the week and the person who's going home, everybody's far more upset about who's leaving than they are thrilled about that they've won. It's quite sweet. It's really sweet. It's nice.
It is. It's like you create a family in the tent. And I'm always amazed that you're baking in a tent. And I'm wondering, how do they have all the ovens? And, because it's a tent that's just like a makeshift kitchen.
I'm often asked that. Why on earth do you do this in a tent? It makes it so difficult for you. It's either freezing cold and you're all, we're sort of chattering because England can be cold even in the middle of summer. Mm-hmm. And you're in some sort of flimsy dress that the wardrobe people thought would look great in the middle of summer, and it's now utterly freezing. And so you've got a hot water bottle stuffed underneath your jumper.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
And or we're doing, which happens all the time, we're doing the Christmas shows, or in this case your holiday special in a heat wave. And we're in warm Christmassy snowsuits or Christmas jumpers or holiday warmth.
Right.
Sweating away.
Now you said jumper. So this is something we talked about because there is a difference with British slang and American slang. So you say jumper and people are like, what?
What do you mean by jumper?
I think of like a onesie.
Well, you're wearing a jumper.
I'm wearing a jumper?
You're wearing a jumper and you're wearing a cardi. That's a jumper.
Oh, a cardi.
But a jumper is, a
That's a cardi and that's a jumper and that's a hoodie.
Hoodie, yeah.
Okay. Because to us, a jumper is like a one piece.
No.
We've got it wrong.
It's a knitted top.
A knitted top. And then
that you pull over your head.
And then cookies or biscuits. And you say that.
Yeah, I know. I find that so difficult. I keep saying the wrong thing. But the thing that Paul can't get rid is just the simplest little linguistic habits. Like you say, on your mark, get set, go. We say, on your marks, in the plural. And Paul keeps saying, why did they say on your mark?
It's like math and maths.
And maths, exactly. You do the math and we do the maths.
Oh, you do the maths?
Oh, I didn't know that you did the maths.
I didn't know you did the maths. Yeah.
It's mathematics, not mathematics.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. A lot makes sense, I think, personally.
A jumper doesn't make sense for this.
Yeah, well, I suppose you jump it over. I don't know why.
What about crisps?
Yeah, and chips. Chips. When I was born in South Africa, and we called them chips.
Oh.
What the Brits call crisps, and you call chips.
Yeah. Right. Crisps.
But crisps or chips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
fries.
And then fries or chips.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. French fries. French fries or chips. Yeah.
It's funny because, in Canada, they have adopted a lot of the British lingo. So I was more used to the slang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have to change your vocabulary when you go to the America version? Do they give you a list of words that you have to?
Well, we try to. But I mean, just remembering to say baking show is difficult.
Yeah.
Because we say bake off. And the reason we can't say bake off in the States is because Pillsbury own the word bake off.
What?
Wow.
And they don't use it, but they won't let us use it.
But why? What? They don't use it.
I suppose one day they think they'll cash in and,
start a TV show.
That's so bizarre, though. I didn't know you could own. Isn't it weird that you can own a phrase?
They don't. Yeah, they must have registered it at some point when they were doing a little competition or something. Wow. And so they own the Bake Off, and we don't.
That's crazy. I have a question. Do you think there's a difference between people who bake and people who cook, like a type of person? Because I've noticed there's certain people, like my sister's an amazing cook, but she's not a baker. And then I know people who are amazing bakers, but their cooking is...
I think, and to be honest, I think the skills are similar.
You do?
The skills are similar, but the interest isn't. I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I'm not a baker. I'm a cook. I mean, the reason I got this job was because I had for many, many years a cookery school, the Leith School of Food and Wine. And it's been going for years. And so I have tasted thousands and thousands of students' efforts and exams and so forth. So I think, and then I was for 11 years judging the Great British, I get so muddled about these names. The Great British Menu. The Great British Menu. I judged for 11 years. And that was all professional chefs. And I had a restaurant. And I'd come up from being a chef, not a baker. So, and I had a really smart Michelin star restaurant, and I knew all the top chefs. So when they started the program of the Great British Menu, they thought I was the right person to judge it because I had the school and I'd done a lot of professional tasting. So really, then I went in from that into judging Bake Off. But I'm not really a baker at all. I like baking, and I can make quite a mean cake, but I've never been as interested in it as I am in savory cooking. And actually, Paul, although he's a baker, is not really a pâtissier. Patisserie is not his thing. It's bread. So when bread week comes around, Paul and I are both absolutely in seventh heaven because we're not tasting. It's not sweet, or most of it's not sweet. Some of it will be quite sweet. It'll be slightly sweetened breads or enriched breads or brioche and croissant, but I mean not seriously sweet like cakes can be. And so we both love it. nothing better than somebody making flatbread or pizza or, donuts or whatever. Yeah. So I think maybe they ought to have had one of us that came from the cake world. Like, I made cakes I started my career as a caterer. I started going around making people's dinner parties, I was a cook for hire, really, sort of traveling cook for hire. And that grew into a big catering company. And so I used to make wedding cakes all the time. Every weekend there were 2 or 3 wedding cakes. And so I got to be a dab hand at making all in those days. And today it's much easier. You can use fresh flowers and ribbons, and people can use fondant to make teddy bears and all sorts of stuff. But in those days it was much more formal, and you made like sort of these Regency frilly cakes. You had to pipe little trellises and little fences. God, it was boring.
Oh,
you'd be there for hours and hours. Now another layer of trellis on the wretched wedding cakes, and always just in white. It's pretty boring.
Yeah.
So as soon as I could, I offloaded the wedding cakes. But I still made the basic cake, but I used to get them decorated by a professional who just loved cake icing. I mean, there's some people who live to ice cakes.
Yeah, and decorate.
And occasionally we get some of them on one of the baking show or the Bake Off, and they they're just astonishing what they can do with the piping bag.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I've seen some of them, and it's so impressive. And you said fondant. Some people say fondant. That's another.
Fondant.
I want to know what the correct pronunciation is.
Well, I suppose it would be a French word, so it would be fondant. Fondant. Okay. But you tend to say fondant.
Fondant.
Say fondant.
My daughter is obsessed with fondant.
Whatever.
She loves it. She'll just eat it by the hand. I know.
Pure sugar. It's just
of course.
sugar.
She loves it. That's always her request for cakes, as long as it has fondant on it.
Oh, I don't like it.
I try. I mean, the contestants, the bakers, get to know that neither Paul nor I really like fondant at all. We'd much rather if you make it yourself, it's not quite so horrific. But if you buy it in a packet, which most of them do, it's pure sugar, and it's so cheap, and they use it really thick. And actually, you can roll it very, very thin, and then it's not too bad, because you just get a little kick of sweetness, not a great gobful.
Broad Ideas is supported by Factor. This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on these jam-packed days. Let's be honest, the holidays are full force. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, which is so important, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You will save time, you'll eat well, you will stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all your holiday to-dos. I am always looking for any kind of shortcut to eat well, to eat something delicious, and make life easier, because let's be honest, it gets a little crazy, especially with kids and the holidays. Too busy with holiday plans to cook, but you want to make sure you're eating well? With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping, the prepping, the cleaning up, while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy. Head to factormeals.com/ideas50 and use code ideas50 to get 50% off. That's code ideas50 at factormeals.com/ideas50 to get 50% off. Okay, you guys, it's official. I have found my new favorite clothing brand. I know that's a big statement, but this is why. Marine Layer, their stuff is so soft. Seriously, it's absurd. And it makes for the perfect gift. All thanks to San Francisco-based brand Marine Layer. Love a California company. To spread holiday cheer, our listeners get a 15% off discount with our exclusive link. Okay, I'm always cold, but I really like to be comfy, but I also like to dress cute too. Marine Layer covers everything for me. I am warm, I feel a little cute, and the most important thing is they are so soft. I live to be cozy. This is the perfect combination of everything. Marine Layer has figured it out. Honestly, you can get all of your holiday shopping done at Marine Layer. They've got amazing gifts for guys and gals, like sweaters, tees, overshirts, beanies, you name it. I'll be getting some absurdly soft stuff for everyone in my family, and I'm even going to throw in a few beanies for myself. I think we can all admit that great gifts can be hard to find, so look no further than Marine Layer. For a limited time, get 15% off at marinelayer.com/ideas15. That's marinelayer.com/ideas15 for 15% off your entire order. Saving your closet one shirt at a time.
Where did your love of cooking come from? What got you into it? What sparked
Do you know, I think it came from greed.
Oh, do tell.
Because when I was a child, I grew up in South Africa, and my parents were quite well off, and we had a cook who cooked for, most privileged white South African families had servants. And so we had a Zulu cook, and he was a wonderful cook. And he had been trained by the sort of best gentleman's club in Johannesburg, which had a French tradition of French cooking. So he was trained in the classical French manner. And I could have learned to cook at his apron strings. But because the culture in South Africa was just so them and us, you didn't talk to the servants really. And I was devoted to Charlie and adored him because he was nice to me. But it never occurred to me that he could teach me to cook. And I went off to France to university, and I'd never cooked anything. And then I became an au pair. So I was working in a house looking after children. And the woman who was my boss, Madame, she was a terrific cook. And so I was helping her in the kitchen and stuff. Actually, she never let me cook anything because she thought the fact that I spoke English would guarantee the food would be, I'd ruin it. And she'd probably right. And so I came back to South Africa all full of myself because I'd learned to make a few dishes from watching her. And I was particularly proud of a crepe of pancake filled with seafood and creamy sauce and hollandaise on top of it, and then put under the grill. So very sophisticated and extremely, I thought it was really posh. And so I started to show rather grandly. I said to my mother, I'm going to show Charlie how to make this, seafood pancake. And then I suddenly realized that Charlie was helping me. We were doing this together. And I just thought, my God, look at the way he's chopping the herbs and look at the way. And then I curdled the hollandaise. And he quietly took it away and started again with another egg yolk and fixed my hollandaise. And I thought, God, this guy knows everything. He knows far more. And what am I doing thinking I can teach him to make anything? But it was a bit late by then because I'd left home. So in the end, I went to cookery school in England. I couldn't afford the cookery school in France. And so then I realized that the English cordon bleu course was not only a bit cheaper, but I could live for free because I could stay with some friends because my parents had friends in London. So that's what I did. So I never made the French cordon bleu.
Well, I think you have done wonderfully without it.
Yeah. When you got there, did you know that this was going to be your career? Did you feel
yes, I think away? Once I realized that I was interested in food, not just to eat it, but I was so impressed with the way the French. It didn't matter whether you were a metro worker or a captain of industry or a movie star. Everybody talked about food. Mm-hmm. I was brought up in a family where you never talked about food. There were sort of certain things that I suppose it might have just been the time because I'm so old, but my parents thought lots of things were a bit vulgar to talk about. You didn't talk about money, politics, sex, food, or God. No religion either. Well, I don't know what the hell they did talk about because honestly, those are the 5 most interesting things you can talk about. Yeah. But in France, everybody talked about all these things. And they talked so that you'd get, you'd be in it was the family that I worked for. We would sometimes go to the brasserie on the corner and have coffee and croissant and stuff. And we'd be standing at the bar. And it was wonderful because you'd have the metro workers from down the road who were having a break, and they would be, and they'd be discussing, things like which local restaurant made the best steak and chips, or everybody was interested where food is grown and who grows the best raspberries it was amazing because of the general interest in food. And I thought, it's okay to be interested in food.
And sex.
And then I decided that I did want to. And the plan of me being at the Sorbonne at all was that I was supposed to be doing a course on history and culture of France, French civilization, because I wanted to be an interpreter. I thought I'd work for the United Nations and I'd travel all over the world translating. But I very quickly realized I'd much rather cook.
Where's your favorite city to eat?
Oh, my favorite city today to eat?
Yeah.
Do you know, I think I might say New York.
Mm.
Just because it's so different and you can get, and you still get the best breakfasts in New York, I reckon. And it's so cosmopolitan. And, I went a couple of years ago now to that huge complex called Italy.
Yeah.
And really, they had stuff there that the Italians would have been proud of. Milan, which is the center of all gastronomy, and they think of Milan as the gastronomy of Europe. But this was just a single company doing amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I like New York. And I've never been to the Lebanon, Beirut, or anywhere. And I would dearly love to go because I love that cuisine. I love Middle Eastern food.
Same.
And I think that somebody, people I really admire is, we have a chef here who actually is, I think he now has a restaurant in New York too, called Ottolenghi. Have you heard of him? Ottolenghi. Yeah. But he's Israeli. He's Lebanese Israeli. I think one of his parents is Israeli and the others. And he was just a revelation in England when he started. And fundamentally, it's about spicing correctly. Not heavily, not just chili, but just a little bit of the right spices. Careful spicing, and chopping up everything very, very fine. And using pulses a lot. And so I love that the excitement of a bowl of salad or something, which has got maybe, black-eyed beans and chickpeas. And I'd like to say Beirut, but I've never been to Beirut. And I suppose it's not worth going to now because it's smashed to hell.
Yeah. Mm. Could you take us through your dream day eating? So what would breakfast be? What would snack be? We're food obsessed.
We are food obsessed.
So what would be if you had your dream day of eating breakfast, snack,
what's
lunch,
the menu?
snack, dinner,
well, I'd start
dessert.
Off. I'd start off with a New York's version of maybe a Florentine, like a hollandaise, but with spinach in it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, I love stuff on toast. The last cookbook I wrote is called Bliss on Toast, and it's just stuff on toast. And honestly, it's full of really, really good stuff. I'll show you in a minute. Hang on, I'll get it.
I love stuff on toast.
It's not because if I fall off, I might fall down. Hang on.
No, you can take it out. Yeah. Okay. We're getting the cookbook.
I love this background.
I know. I love anything on toast.
Anything on toast.
It's basically like a bruschetta, just anything.
Anything on toast.
On toast.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
Oh, that thing I was trying to talk to, that New York thing with frangipani I was talking to you about is called Bostock. Bostock?
Never heard of it.
Nope, never heard of it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I don't know
a fashionable thing in New York. Basically, it was invented by French bakers to make use of leftover brioche. But I want to show you you see, I think anything that tastes good on a plate tastes even better on toast, especially if the toast is very good. So here's this is peppered steak with salsa verde on sourdough.
Ooh, yum.
Oh my
you wouldn't be able to
goodness.
resist that, would you?
No.
I mean,
I need
this is
cookbook.
chicken tikka with yogurt.
On toast.
Ooh.
With yogurt on toast.
On a naan bread.
Naan bread.
Like a raita.
Naan bread.
No, raita's the yogurt.
And then there's some fairly obvious ones like smoked salmon and wasabi. And
I need this cookbook.
Beautiful. Oh, you have it right.
And that's
You have it right.
That is a Caesar salad, but made with scallops, but on top of bread. So I had such fun
what
thinking,
kind of bread?
what do I like? Yes, what kind of bread, and
Right.
what would be nicest on it? And I began to realize that I wrote it in lockdown, and I was just feeding my husband every day, and we did eat an awful lot of stuff on toast. And then if I made a chicken casserole or something, then we'd have it the second day on toast.
Yeah.
We'd have the leftovers on toast. And then I began to realize actually everything's better on toast.
Yes.
So,
Were you making your own bread at that point too?
yeah, like most people in lockdown. Yeah.
Right. I didn't. Oh, no, I did.
I wish we were staying with you.
Yeah. That would have been great.
Okay,
Yeah.
so eggs Florentine on toast.
Okay, so
what kind of toast would you put it on?
I'm not quite sure I get this right, but what do you call an English muffin?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be good.
Is it an English muffin? Does it come from England? This raises a good question.
It does.
I've never thought about it.
Oh, I don't know if it does.
Probably.
I don't know either.
But they're
you
great.
don't know what they're called there.
And then for lunch,
What snack in between lunch, Prue? Don't you need a snack in between
Brunch
lunch?
between.
Yeah.
no, I'm really boring about that. I think one of the problems is that we all eat too much in between, and then we're not hungry at lunchtime, and don't enjoy it enough. I'm all for the pleasure of food, and so it upsets me to see kids getting snacks all day because I know they're not going. First of all, that means they're not going to be hungry enough to ever try anything new, and they'll always just want the same old pizza or whatever. So then for lunch, I think my ideal thing would be some really simple grilled fish, any fish.
Mm.
And if I was feeling really extravagant, it would be maybe a Dover sole fillet or something.
Oh, nice.
But if I was feeling hard up, it would be mackerel or something. But any plain grilled fish with almost nothing on it except a bit of butter and lemon.
Mm-hmm. Nothing with the fish, just the fish.
I quite like a salsa with fish, chopped up mango and onion and
Love
stuff.
that.
It's good with fish. And then for supper, I'm dribbling now because I'm thinking about it.
Us too.
I think for dinner, I'd like something really like. Do you know French cassoulet? Do you know what that is?
Yeah,
cassoulet. It's basically a bean stew.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's traditionally made with several kinds of meat. You get let's say a sausage, quite a spicy sausage, and a piece of duck or ham or chicken. It can be anything, but it's various pieces of meat cooked very, very slowly in a very savory base. The usual thing of onion and garlic and good stock and white beans, haricot beans, and it's all cooked together very, very slowly, and then it has a sort of crunchy top on top.
What's the crunchy top?
Well, it's just, I think it's done in different ways, but it can just be breadcrumbs and what else would be in there? Maybe a little bit of cheese, but just a sort of crunchy.
I would dip
But the main thing
it.
is it's cooked incredibly slowly and so savory. And when you take the lid off, you can just dive
You're
in
making us all very hungry.
Yeah.
And it's 9 something.
Dessert.
Oh, dessert. Oh, she's not done yet.
I'm not
Sorry.
done. It's dessert.
not a bit. Oh gosh, well, after all that. Do you know, I think my favorite dessert is actually a cake.
Really?
Which is, because I love almonds, it's a polenta almond citrusy cake. So it could be oranges or lemons or even a mixture of lime and lemon maybe. But it's a lot of acidity and no flour. So you just use ground almonds, polenta, and lots of eggs.
Oh, wow.
And I make all sorts of variations of that. And it's lovely just as a piece of cake. But it's also wonderful if you have it slightly warm with a big dollop of ice cream or creme fraiche or something, and maybe a bit of a fruit puree with it, like a bit of raspberries or something.
That sounds wonderful.
Okay, I feel good. I feel good now. It's like EMDR. EMDR, is that what it is?
ASMR.
ASMR. EMDR. It's like ASMR.
Stomachs.
Yeah, it's like really comforting to hear.
I have a question about Paul and
you asked me about Paul.
His blue eyes. His eyes are so blue.
Are they real?
There's a blue light, right? That'll help make it pop.
No. Honestly, I hate to tell you, but his eyes are exactly as they are. When I thought they were contact lenses, I thought he was very clever, But no, they're not. They're just absolutely real. And I'll tell you what will amuse you is I've just done a tour all around England, a sort of one-woman show, just talking about my life and stuff like that. And then in the second half, it's audience questions. And the most frequent question is, are Paul Hollywood's eyes really that blue?
Well, I'm glad I asked.
Well done, you hit it. And I'm hate to tell you, yes, they are. That is absolutely so. And the next question about Paul is the tan fake? I mean, does he really look that good? Yes, he does. And what's more, if he goes in the sun for 20 minutes, he comes out of the sun 2 or 3 shades darker immediately. And he doesn't go red. He just, And the makeup girls absolutely hate it when sometimes we find we're filming in the middle of a heat wave. And obviously Paul and I have quite a lot of time off because these people have to bake.
Right.
And so we don't always have other things to do. So Paul will take his shirt off and go and lie in a hammock. And then come back 20 minutes later and the makeup people complain bitterly that he doesn't look now like he looked 20 minutes ago.
3 shades darker.
They're trying to, continuity won't be right.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Can you think of the worst thing you've ever tasted on the show? Does that stand out?
The worst thing I've ever eaten?
Yeah.
On the show, though.
Yeah, we'll go on the show. Or you could just say, but yeah.
Do you know, I've not eaten anything I've disliked with the Great American Baking Show because, I haven't done that many,
Right. It'll come.
I think that sometimes I'm surprised at how you think you've given the bakers a really easy challenge, and then they don't do it right. They all get it wrong. And I think maybe that's because we're asking them to do something that they've not heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But we try to make it accessible, But I better not tell you about the disasters because you're about to watch it, aren't you?
Yeah, we already watched.
Well, we've already seen it.
Have you already watched them all? No. Well, do you remember how, if you've already watched them all, you will have seen that they didn't do the ginger steamed puddings very well, did they? They tasted absolutely delicious.
Spicy, right?
Delicious?
They were really gingery and lovely.
Gingery, yeah.
But you like ginger.
Flavor was fantastic, but the execution was appalling. They all came out raw.
Oh, no.
Well, do you, so like, let's say the holiday special, right? When you go into something like this and you meet everyone and you're getting to know them and you're tasting their biscuits or whatever you're tasting, are you internally rooting for someone right off the bat, or do you really?
Oh, interesting.
I think it's difficult not to immediately take to some people more than others, but I think we're all. And it's really distressing when somebody you think has just got it and going to get do well and they don't. But it's not. It doesn't lead to sort of favoritism, because in the end, what you're looking at is the bake.
Yeah.
And that's what's talking to you. This isn't right. It's undercooked. You can't cheat on behalf of somebody you really like. But yes, it's not. I mean, I've never disliked anybody.
That's good.
But some people take a little longer to like. In the main show, but because you get to know them, at the beginning they're a bit shy and and you just don't know them very well.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, in this one, the special, I mean, I have to say that there's no question that my favorite from the start was DeAndre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just so divine. First of all, he's crackingly good looking.
Yeah,
he is.
And there are not many people who tower over me because I'm very large. I'm rather large. So it was such a delight to stand next to somebody and actually have to look up. And he was so witty and so charming, and
he was
endearing.
Vegan.
Yeah,
vegan baking as well.
That's hard. Vegan baking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But it is. Well, it's more. It's harder with some things than others. Vegan breads are right. It's cakes is the difficulty because of eggs and cream.
Right.
But it's getting easier because the substitutes are getting better and better.
Right.
But he was just so interesting and such a delightful guy. So I guess he was my favorite.
Who's your favorite of all time through Great British Bake Off?
Raoul,
Liam.
We're in the middle at the moment of airing Bake Off, and so I'm not going to tell you how anybody did. But there's a baker on at the moment called Tasha. Have you been watching it?
Yeah, I have been.
And Tasha's deaf.
Yeah.
And she is the most delightful girl. She's so admirable. She's so funny. She's got such a good sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Terrific baker. And she's quite profoundly deaf, and she manages to get on with her life, and it's just
beautiful.
So she's admirable as well, but she's also so funny.
Yeah.
And she's lovely.
I can't wait to see it. But the holiday, I just thought it was funny because, it's the celebrity version of it. And Joel McHale, who is hilarious.
I love him.
Oh my God. So funny. It must have been so entertaining because you have all these personalities that are.
Yeah. And but the trouble is because I don't watch American telly and don't live in America, I'm not really familiar with any of them. I actually had heard of Andre because, he's just so famous, but they were all interesting, and it was a really good mix, I thought. And the comedians were funny.
Yeah.
Phoebe and Joel were really funny.
Yes, very funny. I liked their...
And I liked Ego. Is that how she says her name? Ego or Ego? Ego, I think she calls it.
Yeah.
She was such a... she was just such a delightful girl.
Mm-hmm.
They all took it so seriously too, which is amazing.
Yeah.
The commitment. I feel like I would get frustrated.
I mean, I would be nervous, but do they have time to practice before coming into the tent?
No, they have time to practice, but what always upsets them or throws them is that, it's one thing practicing in your own kitchen,
right?
But walking into the tent when you watched it on telly and it's the tent has a kind of atmosphere that it's not meant to be intimidating, but of course, if you've been mad about and they wouldn't be on Bake Off if they weren't mad about the show. So they can't really believe. They often say, God, I'm standing in the tent. They feel it's
Rob really wants to be in the tent.
Did you do the American one in the same tent, or did you build one here?
It's not exactly. To be honest, we have a separate tent because at the same time that we're filming American Bake Off, we're also doing the English version of Junior Bake Off.
Oh.
And so we need an extra tent.
And it's in England, all of it.
Yes, we film it in Pinewood.
Oh, wow.
In England. So all the bakers come here. And actually it's rather good fun for them because what happens is, there are 10 of them. And obviously they get, it's not like celebrity, not like this one, this celebrity, whatever they call it. The holiday special is just celebrities. So they all spend 2 days there and then they all go. Mm-hmm. But in the main show, they have 10 bakers and one goes on the first week and another goes the second week and so on the whole way through. But we like them all to be there at the end to celebrate the winner. So if they get thrown out straight away, they then have a 6 weeks holiday.
Oh, wow, yeah.
In England, all expenses paid.
Oh, wow.
And they bring their families over and they have a brilliant time. So it's almost worth getting thrown out.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Right.
It's a great compensation for losing out is that then they go on a tour around England or they do what they like.
That sounds great. I think I'm going to apply.
I think you should. You're a great baker.
I wouldn't say a great baker.
You're great.
I'm okay.
You're good. I mean it.
I like all the tricks, that you learn with baking and, because it is a science, right?
Yeah,
and,
it is.
Yeah. And I'm not good at science, but I try my best. And it was really funny.
But it's practical science. I mean, the lovely thing was one of the reasons I think all children should learn to cook and to bake is because it's a great way of learning all sorts of things without actually trying.
Right.
Yeah.
You learn what yeast does. You learn what bicarbonate of soda does. You learn what will emulsify and what won't. You learn a whole heap of science and you learn a whole heap of arithmetic and
patience.
All of it.
Patience.
Yeah. My daughter learned a really good lesson. We were baking during the pandemic. We were making challah, and my aunt, who's a huge baker, she always makes it and gave us the recipe, but she does it off memory. So she's just telling us the recipe. Well, because sometimes she's forgetful, she told us 2 tablespoons of salt instead of teaspoons. So now it's a joke that we always bring up about salt. We send her a big thing of salt for Christmas because of this that happened during the pandemic because it was so disgusting.
Was it?
Oh my God. Yeah. And my daughter always makes fun of her great aunt. And that was her lesson. Now she really knows that's too much salt.
I think you should leave her alone now.
You're standing up for Aunt Carol.
Yeah.
Giving her a hard time.
Make that mistake.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. So we make her write things down now.
She is a great baker.
Yeah. No, she's real deal. For sure. But yeah, it's also.
She should go on.
She doesn't like the pressure of the time limit. I've talked to her about it. Because there's a lot of pressure that comes along with it. But it is so much fun. And I think it's so great to do with family and children, like you said. Yeah. It's just such a nice thing to share together in the kitchen.
Yeah, even if it's just, occasionally, when it's, if you make a birthday cake together or you make, some festivity together. It just makes that festival much more fun and much more meaningful.
Yes. My daughter decorates her grandmother's cake with fondant.
Yeah, exactly.
And
and that would have given her grandmother so much more pleasure than you going to buy the most expensive cake from the poshest bakery.
Yep.
She'd rather have your daughters.
Yes, exactly. And I have to tell you, Prue was on a short list of baby names for me when I had my daughter because I love it so much. It's just one of my favorite names.
Alex? Yeah, well, I've always really disliked it because when I was a child, it was a very unusual name, and my mother had chosen it because she liked the idea of virtues, and so she actually thought she might call me Faith, but then my father pointed out that Faith Leith would be a horrible thing to have to say. So she was thinking of Charity and all these names. So anyway, she ended up with Prudence.
I love it. It's a beautiful name. And you're a Beatles song, so
you're a Beatles
can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Well, it's so I'm really very unmusical, but you can't live through the 60s without having noticed that there's some good songs around. But the trouble is that once I grew, I think that everybody's favorite music is what they heard when they were 17 and 18 or 16, 17, 18. And by the time you're 25, when I don't know how old you girls are.
25.
But then you start certainly in my case, I stopped with the Rolling Stones, really. I mean, I hardly know any pop. Obviously, you can't not have noticed Beyonce or Madonna or whatever, but I never really followed anybody after about the Stones, I suppose. And even when my children were mad about Duran Duran and Take That and all that, I couldn't name you a single song. So I'm never any good at pub quizzes or anything because I've just no interest in popular music.
Well, you know the important stuff.
Do you listen to music while you cook, or do you need focus?
No, I don't. Well, I sometimes listen to the radio. I might listen to, classic FM, or I might listen to, but I only listen to it if I don't need to think, if I'm just doing something absolutely automatic like washing up or I'm making something that I've made 100 times. But if I need to think at all, I have to turn everything off and concentrate.
Yeah.
I get that.
That makes sense. Well, you are just so lovely, and we are so grateful that you talked to us about all of this today.
Well, I've enjoyed it. Enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
No, well, thank you. You've been so sweet and so nice.
I have some stuff to share with you guys, which is kind of funny. So
the first time you're coming.
First time I've come prepared.
I
actually took notes because Nicole was over the other day.
Oh, good.
First, you're really going to appreciate this first thing that I wanted to tell you so bad. For everyone, like, Nicole is one of our very good friends. She's been my stylist for 20 years, whatever. She's hilarious.
Hilarious.
Like, her personality. Anyway.
Old friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Rob?
Nothing.
He's trying to make us feel old.
I had to go to an event, and the event was held at Pasadena Humane, an animal shelter, and Nicole was getting me dressed. I'm already laughing
just thinking
She was getting me dressed. And we're looking, because we tried on stuff, and we're looking, and I have one outfit, and it's like all brown, and she's like, okay. She's like, well, she's like, okay, looking through the pictures. She's like, okay, well, I know.
Does she think you're going to get mistaken for one of the dogs?
You're killing the story.
Sorry, she's making me laugh.
Sorry.
As she's flipping through, she gets to the brown outfit. She's like, okay, well, a lot of dogs are going to be in brown, so you can't. And she didn't even, I'm like, Nicole, Dogs are brown. She goes, I'm dead serious. Not even. She's like, a lot of dogs are going to be in brown, so you can't wear brown. Like, dogs don't wear brown. They are brown.
I love her so much.
I died. So every time I'm telling it's my favorite because she was just dead serious. Not even like a second thought. Like, well, a lot of dogs are going to be in brown, so you're not going to wear brown.
She's a fucking icon.
Oh my God.
Okay.
She killed me. So we kept talking and she had just gone on a field trip with her 11-year-old son. Seven, she's like, these boys at 11, what they're talking about?
What?
Oh, I got some new lingo.
Do tell.
Like sex terms, whatever, what the kids are using.
The 11-year-olds are using sex terms?
Yes.
What are they?
Yeah. Clap it out.
What's that mean?
Is that chlamydia?
Sex. Did they clap it out? I was like, what?
Rachel, do it again.
No.
Yeah, please. What did they do? Did they what?
I died. Okay. And then
look at Rob's face for a second.
It's our favorite. Then bricked up.
What's that mean?
Racked?
Why don't you guys take a ghost?
A rack?
A ghost? Steve? Take a guess.
Bricked up.
Yeah.
Like she's like a brick house. She's stacked. No.
Like, yeah, wrecked. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Boner.
Yeah, that's what erect means.
Oh, you said erect?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear you. The beanie's covering my ears.
Bricked up.
Bricked up is boner. Okay.
Yeah, bricks are hard.
There's something, she doesn't remember if this is the exact thing, but like grandma cakes or something like that. It means jiggly butt.
I do like that this is the telephone version of what kids are saying.
Yeah, I know. We might need clarification on this, but I was dying.
Should we call her?
Should we call him?
Call Nicole.
No, we should call Nicole.
Call Nicole.
Call Zeb.
Call Nicole.
She'll probably answer too.
She probably won't answer.
No, she probably will.
A lot of dogs are going to be in brown.
A lot of dogs.
Come on. Like, Rob, you couldn't go
around
there today. Like that.
No. Someone might mistake you for a Weimaraner.
Weimaraners are more
I know.
gray.
It just was the first thing that came to my head. A lab.
Oh, she might be working.
Hi, I'm so sorry. We have you on speakerphone and we're recording. So now's your moment.
It's very awkward. Why?
First, I just told a lot of the dogs are going to be in brown.
Oh, yes, of course. They will be. Well, where the dogs in brown is really the question.
You know, there were a lot less brown than I was expecting.
Really? So
Yeah.
I was right.
But more importantly, I was brought up the terms that you told me the other day that all the kids are saying.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's the telephone version because I'm saying it. So we just needed to clarify. And for you.
Telephone that Nicole's saying it from Zeb.
Yeah, but
too.
he said it to
There's
her.
like
You guys
4
should have
links
told
in
me
this.
because I would have gotten a download from Zeb. He's in a movie right now. But I know because I even tried to look up one of them, which was grandma cakes, just now at lunch. And even in the slang, like even on, it's not even hasn't even registered. So either I'm wrong or it's super under the radar.
It's just coming at you now. It's fucking hot to press.
About that.
You talked about what? Clap it out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Clap it out. Bricked up.
Bricked up.
That's on there.
And granny cakes or grandma cakes. We don't know what.
Grandma cakes. Yeah, that means like jiggly butt. There is another term for jiggly butt. I just don't know. I don't remember what it was. But it's something super random.
That doesn't make sense at all.
What else is there? W Riz is like winning Riz, and then there's L, which is like losing Riz.
What's Riz?
Riz is like it's kind of like swag. Like it's kind of like it's like you're cool, like your game. It's like your game. Like if you got game, you got Riz.
So like Shepherd has Riz.
Shepherd has definitely W Riz.
What's W Riz?
It's like winning, like you're a winner. Like W Riz, like winning Riz. L is losing, like you're a loser, like losing Riz.
Okay, got it.
I love Zev is our finger on the pulse. It's great.
Well, can we set up a call with him soon so he can?
Zev?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah. He's at. They have the day off, so he's on a movie right now.
All right. Well, we look forward to.
Well, we love you
further.
so much.
So much.
Get all you got to keep. We got to keep our ear to the street.
You're keeping us current. You're keeping us current.
Yeah.
Love you.
You know what, Nicole? You've got mad W Riz.
Mad gummy Riz.
Oh, that too. No, W Riz.
Oh, W Riz. Yeah.
You should say 100 back.
Oh, am I supposed to say 100? Rob said.
You guys are super muffled. I can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Is that like a compliment?
That you're muffled.
I'm kidding. All right. We love you. We'll call you later.
Bye.
Bye.
What?
That's
Rob?
not what she was.
Why?
That is not what she was expecting.
No, not at all. What?
So I found this.
Why?
And it was in your closet. I don't know why you had it.
Why are you in my closet?
There's a quiz that you answered.
Let's do it and see if she answers the same.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
That's fun.
So
What year is that magazine?
2013.
Okay.
10 years.
Nicknames: Ray, Rach, and R Dog
R Dog.
with double G. All right, the three
You
most.
said that?
Who calls me R Dog?
Wait, you said that? These are her answers
are
or
my
is it
answers?
multiple
It looks
choice?
like you wrote these in. It looks like your handwriting.
Raw dog. Is that what you said? What are you trying to say? Did she say her nickname is Raw Dog?
R Dog.
Oh.
Jesus.
I was like,
All right.
she's like, oh, me? People call me Raw Dog.
All right, the three most listened to songs on my iPod are.
iPod, by the way. What? In 2013?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Try and guess.
Yeah, you're guessing these. What do you?
It's like, I don't know.
It's Not Easy Being Green by Kermit the Frog.
Oh, I love that answer.
Losing You.
Oh, by Solange?
Mm-hmm.
I was really into that song at the time. Yeah.
Miguel's entire album.
Oh, the
I
entire
loved
thing.
Miguel's
I remember.
Adorn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm an 80-year-old woman inside.
That is true. I said that.
Um,
To what, though?
That's just a quote.
No, nobody asked.
Just a random quote in here.
That is correct.
All right.
These are the songs I'm listening to. And side note, I'm an 80-year-old woman
It's
inside.
like Miguel Adorn. I'm an 80-year-old woman
Yeah.
inside.
All right.
Okay.
I Can't Stop Buying.
Shoes. I don't know. Lip smackers.
Suitcases. I know, I'm crazy.
Oh, that's true. That is correct. That has not changed.
Filming sexy scenes is A, awkward, B, just another day at the office, or C,
fucking awesome.
really pretty funny.
Pretty funny.
You circled all of them.
Okay.
Oh.
Sure.
All right. The role I would most love to play is
Brittany Murphy's role in 8 Mile.
anything where I
Wait,
can sing and dance.
Is that what I said?
No. Anything where I can sing and dance.
Oh, okay.
The celeb's closet I most want to raid is.
At the time, I probably said Sienna
You want multiple choice?
or Diane Keaton.
Nope. A, Gwen Stefani, B, Kate Moss, C, Rachel Zoe, or D, other.
It's Rachel Zoe. Rob.
C, Rachel
Oh, they
Zoe.
gave me multiple choice. I would have picked Kate Moss out of this.
You picked Kate Moss, but then you also wrote another.
Who did I write? Sienna.
Nope. Ashley Olsen.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
What's an app you can't live without?
An app I can't live without?
Grinder.
Was it the Decider app?
Nope.
Oh. What is it?
Dog breed.
Oh, yes. I loved taking dog breed quizzes. I have a very extensive.
Knowledge, weirdly amazing knowledge of dogs.
Yes.
Mhm.
I said that.
Yeah,
It's
she's
true.
still
In the article?
She's still bragging the same way.
Did she say that
10
in the
years
article?
later, yeah. You really, you went above and
Wow.
beyond on your answers.
It was multiple choice. And she's like, and another thing.
All right.
Oh,
My
there's
favorite
more?
thing about Heart of Dixie
Aw. What was
The
my favorite?
paycheck.
is A, my hilarious co-stars, B, kissing Wilson,
Oh.
C, playing a doctor, D, the clothes, or E, fill in the blank other.
I said the clothes.
Nope.
Oh.
You learned how to do proper sutures.
Sutures, I was going to say. I did learn how to do a suture.
Need a stitch, anyone? Smiley face.
Did she write that?
Yep.
Oh, really?
I was really proud that I could suture.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to sew you up now.
You never leave the house without what?
I said like gum, candy, or Dr. Pepper lip smackers.
No, an extra pair of socks.
That is true. Do you know?
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Do you know how?
It's like watching her
This is like
brain
something.
unbreak in real time.
Do you know?
She's like, oh, I like this girl. Who is she?
I can relate.
I really feel her.
I hate wet socks, you guys. Like
Wet socks?
I do hate wet socks too.
Why would you have wet socks?
If you step in like the grass and
something.
or a dog bowls nearby and there's water.
Who doesn't hate wet socks?
I remember one time in high
Everyone
school
does.
going home early because my socks were
It's a bad feeling.
a horrible feeling.
All right. The most surprising thing in my handbag.
Candy.
That's not surprising.
Well,
Is it?
not everybody has it. 80-year-olds do.
Flaming hot Cheetos.
Oh, yep.
Oh, yeah. There she is.
All right. If I could do a
That's my girl.
karaoke duet with anyone.
A what duet?
A karaoke duet.
Oh, okay. Who did I say?
If I could do a karaoke duet with anyone, it would be...
Duet, is this multiple choice?
Nope.
No.
Fill in the blank.
Did I say Eminem?
You did.
Oh my God.
And then he said, and we would sing
And
We would sing.
and make love.
blank. You would
we
sing
would
blank.
sing Rainbow Connection.
You would sing anything. I secretly want to be a rapper.
Oh God.
Oh,
Stupid.
Not so secret anymore, little
That's
Rachel.
silly. Oh, I got my answers right though, guys.
Some of them.
Last one.
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, there's
Yeah.
more?
This one comes with a photo.
Oh, geez.
The first thing I notice about a guy is blank.
Oh.
His eyes, his
Oh.
body, his smile, his butt, or other.
Well, I either
Oh.
said other and I talked about his shoes, or I said something about his teeth. Like
Shoes.
smile. Oh, that's what I did?
Yeah.
I said other and I said shoes.
His shoes, love a good pair of kicks.
Okay. I just knew what I would have said. I'm not saying that's necessarily how I feel all the time or now, but I think 10 years ago, that's what I would have
Yeah.
said.
You guys want to answer some advice?
Okay, sure.
Yes, please.
All right. My boyfriend, 29-year-old
You have a
male,
boyfriend? Sorry.
got upset that I, 29-year-old female, did not shave before meeting him.
What?
We have been together for 4 years now. My boyfriend still points out and makes
I
me
thought you
get
said
rid
my
of...
boyfriend still pulls out.
Good.
He makes me get rid of my body hair all the time. I'm a pretty hairy person. I need to shave every other day if I want to stay baby smooth. Tried waxing and lasering, but my skin is very sensitive and does not take very well. He mentioned how I am really unlucky when it comes to body hair, and he said he finds body hair very gross.
Oh, that's
That's mean.
He's pretty hairy himself and shaves regularly, so expects the same from me, but I cannot manage to shave all the time, and I feel humiliated when he asks me to do it every time we get intimate.
Ooh.
I have shared how I feel bad, but he says things like how it does not take long to shave or how it does not look aesthetic. We recently met after 1.5 years of long distance, and he asked me why I did not shave before meeting him. He said it shows how I do not put effort into the relationship. Am I the problem here?
If that's how she's comfortable and she owns it, if he loves her and has been talking to her for 1.5 years, that does not fucking matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's her body. Like,
It is her body, but here I'm just gonna say this, because if the roles were reversed, so for him, he probably looks at it as like effort.
That's my point.
Self-care, these kind of things, right? And we don't know what kind of culture he comes from. We don't know their background. We don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
For me, if the roles were reversed and it was my first time meeting a man and he didn't shower and he smelled really bad and his armpit stunk, I might be like, that's interesting. Like, you might not have put any effort into presenting yourself in a way that feels in alignment with me.
Right. I mean,
But to get mad at her about it is psychotic.
Yes.
She also specifically said she would need to do it every other day. How often, or you're not waxing 4 times a week.
Here's the problem with waxing,
that's the difference
and I will
between
talk
shaving
about it.
and waxing.
Let me talk about the conundrum with waxing, okay? If you
Yeah.
always want to be clean and, whatever, you have to like wait it out till there's enough hair to get rid of it. it's not the best solution for people who enjoy not having hair or being clean or in that way, right? Not clean. Clean's not the right word, but you know.
Yeah.
So it is a difficult thing. And then you shave.
I'll say this. I shave my legs every day.
Every day?
Every single day.
Every day?
Every single day.
I definitely don't shave my legs every day.
But I have like, if I don't, I'll get stubble or like growth. But for her, the thing is this comes down to how he's treating her about it isn't right. It sounds from her perspective. Like no one should be mad at you about how you care for your body, but you are allowed to express preferences to your partner. Like, I prefer if you shower every day, or you're allowed to have preferences when it comes to attraction to another person.
Yeah. I also, though, wouldn't equate her not shaving every other day as not taking showers. I feel like comparing those two is a little rough and kind of what he's doing, where he thinks she's like a slob if she's not.
I don't agree with him or how
I don't agree with him either.
Yeah,
I'm just saying if it was reversed.
Right. If it was reversed.
But if it was reversed, that's like him not shaving his beard.
Okay, so that brings up an issue.
Days.
How about this then? So you're saying as a partner, you shouldn't have any input on what the person does with their hair?
No, I think you can. I think you can express your preference, but I think it's totally up to them on what they do. If they,
I will say, I'm
choose.
a big fan of like people that don't care either way, and they're like, whatever.
But of course,
I get what you're saying. That like showing that you are making an effort,
right,
is important,
right.
This
is an example.
She could be making an effort and still not shave every day.
This is an example.
Sure.
Guys, you start dating someone, you chew gum all the time. You want to make sure you have like the freshest breath, like whatever. As the relationship goes on, you don't give a fuck. Like you like eat onion. It doesn't matter.
You're eating an onion like an apple.
Like an apple. You're the Grinch. And you're just like, whatever. And then, there could be comments like, you don't do that anymore. It's like you're not making an effort.
Yeah. Well, I think that there is a certain level of effort that equates to higher attraction.
Yeah.
I do. But there's also like, if someone were to hear Jeff likes my legs shaved, people would be like, it's your body, it's your choice. However, I don't let him choose on his facial hair.
You don't?
Hell no. I like stubble. I like a beard. I
do too. I like
the
facial
fresh
hair on guys.
Face on him. He reminds me of a politician. It just doesn't do it for me. You know?
No, I like stubble. I like a little ruggedness.
I get upset.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So double standard.
That's what I'm saying. It's a double standard. It is a double standard.
I know, I get it. I definitely prefer.
I like the scruff. It's just like manly.
Yeah, it is. So like
sexy.
kissing a long time, like have you ever gotten like the chafing or scabbing?
No.
Oh.
Scabbing?
Well,
No.
from the chafing.
Scabbing.
I got what you meant.
What the hell kind of kissing are you doing?
Swallowing faces.
We've been together 11 years,
I know, but in the beginning.
Yeah, right.
In the beginning, he was fresh-faced.
Oh.
Yeah, and then he like let it grow out for a minute because we were on vacation or something. And he's like, I know, I have to shave. And I was like,
don't
never
shave
again. The rest of your life. Yeah.
You know what else I love, you guys?
What?
Cozy blankets.
I
live for cozy things that are so soft.
I felt really great last night.
Why?
We went and watched a movie at
what movie?
Elemental.
That's a TV show.
School.
No, it's not.
No, it's a movie.
Is it a movie?
Elemental. Yeah.
It's the movie with all the little...
It was like an outdoor live, not live, but like whatever.
Screening.
Yes. And everyone was there and we're all sitting in our chairs, but I had my blanket from the grate that snaps.
It buttons.
Okay?
It buttons so you...
Buttons.
It's the most genius thing anyone's ever created.
It's like
It's like a jacket?
No.
But it's not a jacket.
Wearable blanket,
a wearable
Rob.
blanket.
It's like a shawl?
I actually almost wore it.
It's like
right
a poncho.
now in this.
I won the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have the bandana print or the floral?
I have the bandana print.
Oh.
You have the floral, right? Yeah. No, I felt special.
Yeah.
I did. I was like, I've got something really good here, guys.
You can wear it.
I feel like this is a PSA.
For wearable blankets.
The great.
buttons.
It snaps, dude. So you're like
I
cold
feel like I have
and
to
you
go
wrap
get
a
it
blanket
and put
around
it
you and
on,
you
but-
snap it and then you're like in this little,
Jacket.
it's not
You
a
know,
jacket.
can I tell you,
it makes you want to go to
No.
a fire and sit and be cozy.
I'm looking forward to soccer practice for Briar Monday evening because I can wear my blanket.
Oh, I have
Everyone's going to want that.
It's Calvin soccer got moved to, it's 9:15 on Saturday mornings.
Oh,
What
fun.
was it?
It was 10, but got moved to the field where there's no benches, no bleachers. It's just
You don't have soccer
concrete.
chairs in your...
I got a chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have
But
many. You
I
could
have
have taken one of mine.
I'm like, I was going to get one of those chairs. I wasn't going to get the chair that had the
I
like,
want one of those so bad with the awning.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are great.
Amazing.
Those beach chairs.
I have one that's a cooler in the arm.
Mine is a little cooler in the arm.
Yeah, to keep
Okay.
your water cold.
There's a man that brings a chair that he builds every time.
What do you mean? He
What do you
builds. He has to put it together
It has to be put together.
like a tent.
Yeah. And I'm always watching. And
That's amazing.
that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
Have you seen Nicole's soccer chair?
Oh my God, I need to. What is it?
It's fur.
Yeah, but I'm like one of 3 people that have a chair. So I already feel weird
Is
just
there a
having
picture?
a chair.
Can you ask her to send a picture of her soccer chair, please?
Rob, you need
She's gonna be like, "Why are
You
you guys
need-
just talking about me?"
you need Nicole's soccer
No,
chair.
I already feel like slightly high maintenance enough.
That you have a
bringing
chair? What'd you
a
get?
chair
Which
on
chair
Amazon
did you get?
from Coleman. It was a
No.
Coleman
Coleman?
chair,
What color?
black.
I have the Coleman.
For the first like 4 weeks, I just sat on the cement and was
No.
You just
Yes,
would not
yes,
have a
this-
soccer chair.
yeah.
How much better is your life? I love a soccer chair. I am so comfortable.
I'm happy with my
It's
decision.
quite comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I know. I hear you.
I pulled it out at my softball game last weekend too, in between games.
I love it. It's great.
I don't know the difference between a soccer chair and any other.
Well, they're like
And
a
a softball
camping
chair?
chair. It's like all
Oh,
the
that's what
same.
we have. I had one
They,
with
like,
the
just-
legs that go out.
Well, that's not a soccer chair.
What is it? That's
That's
what
a
I was
lazy
on
boy.
last
That's
night.
a lazy boy.
That's
No.
a chaise.
It's like a beach
It's a
chair, but it
lounge
has
chair.
it has
Yeah.
your legs go out too.
That's a lounge chair.
Was it
The
foldable?
soccer chairs
Mhm.
are just the, you know,
Collapsible. They go into
But
it.
they're not low.
they could be, but not traditionally.
Okay. Yeah, so
I will
that's what
show
I
you.
have.
I will
The beach
demonstrate.
ones are usually lower.
Uh-huh.
Right. So I had the other ones last night and everyone else had beach chairs and that was an issue because
You were blocking everyone's view.
so then we had to go in the back.
All right. Well,
Okay. We've talked about a lot.
All right.
so much. I don't think we have to talk for a while now.
Ever again.
Goodbye.
I guess we can wait like a week.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye.